Uncle Doug.
Uncle Mark.
Is there anything more satisfying in this world than trespassing onto people's property and bothering them during dinner with something they don't want? What can be more satisfying than that?
Doing it during breakfast.
What?
Oh,
yeah. There you go.
Yep.
Yeah. Or when they're making whoopee.
The whoopee.
Yeah.
Hey, I was thinking about the fact that we three have been on the God Awful Movies podcast a time or four.
Yes.
And
there was actually a little competition.
Yeah.
The Pyatt Pod, their guy who does their social media, said that we were neck and neck with that fucker Thomas and his buddy. So I don't care for it. So
I don't like it.
Yeah.
So vote for us.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we won. I don't know if we did or not, but
We definitely did.
Well, because I said live shows count as two.
Oh, okay.
this is the world we live in. We won. I don't care if it's true or
That's
not.
right.
Yeah.
Anywho, two of the times that we appeared, episode 200, where Doug and I talked about the best 2 years, and episode 180, where we talked about the movie Silence.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That was just you and me, Mark, right?
And that was about the Portuguese.
You weren't in that, right?
I was not in that one.
That was the illegal Portuguese missionaries in Japan.
Right, both about missionary work.
And we also talked about God's Army 2.
We did God's Army too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
We have talked about missionaries so much on other people's shows.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's talk about missionaries on our show.
I love it.
I often think about going back in time and finding 20-year-old elder me
Yes.
in Honduras pounding the pavement and just kind of whispering in his ears, it's going to be worth it someday. not for the reasons you think.
Yeah, exactly. We'll mine it as deep as it goes. Isn't it great that 19-year-old you is called elder?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
And now 18-year-old you
Yeah.
can be done.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, let's talk a little bit about it. First of all, we should say that there's lots of different kinds of missionary work. But the main thing is so Christians are the ones who do the most of it. And look, I get it. If you think that you have the truth, the eternal truth, and it has eternal consequences for everybody, you probably should try to share that message with people. You'd be a dick not to, right?
Right.
That's at least what they always say.
Yeah, I mean, I actually don't understand when a group doesn't proselytize when they have a religious cosmology.
Right.
I'm looking at you, Jews. What's up with that?
Yeah.
What, you're so chosen and I'm not? Why not? What's so wrong about me? I'm circumcised. Anyway, missionaries...
He is. I can see it right now.
Yes, indeed.
It's very tight pants. Dan's in his cabana wear, and it holds nothing back.
Try to contain your joy.
Yeah.
So, look, missionaries of all Christian creeds abound. Many of them cite passages in the Bible. For instance, the book of Matthew has Jesus telling his followers to make disciples of all nations.
Matthew 10, right?
Fuck if I know.
Yeah.
It's in there somewhere. Anyway, look, according
It's in 2
to...
Corinthians. It's the whole ball game.
That's right.
2 Corinthians.
According to the U.S. Center for the Study of Global Christianity, yeah, that exists.
Boy, are they hiring?
There were 440,000 Christian missionaries working abroad in 2018.
Jesus Christ.
Just from the United States or just...
I think just from the U.S.
Good Lord.
And then Mormon missionaries account for in 1 year for nearly 66,000 worldwide.
So why do so many countries have a negative opinion of us?
Weird, right? It doesn't seem possible.
We send either cruise missiles or shitty kids to tell you you're doing everything wrong.
Yeah, well, we figure it out.
Yeah.
There's a lot of talk about like Westerners proselytizing to non-Westerners, which we won't go into all of the racist colonialist sort of nonsense contained in that phrasing.
Yeah.
But these days, really, we should probably talk about Northerners and Southerners, because so much of this shit is Europeans and North Americans bothering the people of Africa and South America.
Yeah.
And then sort of Southeast Asia.
The global South is it's kind of generally known.
Indeed. Nevertheless, the core concept is the same. Don't worry, savages. White people are coming to save you. So There are different kinds of missions.
We have fun.
Hey, I've seen Avatar.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, there are different kinds of missions, which I've named them. First of all, there's ABC, always be converting.
Yeah.
This is the Mormon fundamental directive. It's direct channel marketing. Basically, the primary goal is to be converting people always at all times, and all other efforts are made in service of this. So yes, as you, Doug, when you were out on your mission,
That was me.
you had a single goal.
Yep.
And that was numbers.
That's right.
Yeah.
I wanted those steak knives.
Yeah, exactly. And how many people did you convert in your time out on the? How many baptisms?
Define conversion, exactly.
Right, exactly. I will revamp. How many numbers did you get on the board in terms of baptized people?
Well over 100 people.
Yeah.
And well over. It was like
Yeah.
130 or something,
Yeah,
right?
it was a lot. They say you're not supposed to count, but we all counted.
Well, they say you're not supposed to count, but then as we learned on the movie, like
That's all you do.
it's all you do.
Right.
Yeah.
You literally keep stats for everything when you're a Mormon missionary. Anyway, there's that. Then there's the service style missions, which is sales through service.
Right.
Basically, it's saying, "Look at how nice we are. Doesn't that prove that our group is great? Shouldn't you really consider our message? Join our club." All of this is about join our club.
Yeah.
The whole thing-
But at least the people on the receiving end get something
Right.
tangible out of
At
it.
least there's a water system at the end of
Right.
the day.
we'll talk about that.
Okay.
We'll get to that.
All right.
Then there's the education, which is like we'll teach you about how the world works, math, reading and writing, history, science, and wait a minute, there's one more thing. Hang
Jesus.
on. Jesus, which is really the only thing that they want to teach.
Yeah. 2 + 2 = Jesus.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's that, and then there are some other kinds of missions. Those are the main Christian ones. There are things like there's Islamic missionary work. In the U.S., that takes the form mostly, interestingly, historically speaking, of converting African Americans in prison.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah.
This is, of course, the origin story of Malcolm X.
Yep.
It is, it's a very real thing. And their message is basically, we have common cause. You're using the white man's religion. They're the ones who threw you in here. How about we talk about our thing?
Yeah.
Which I can totally understand getting on board with.
Yeah. There's a logic to that.
Anyway, here's the thing. Missionary work, in spite of Doug's apparent success,
Well, sure.
doesn't really work.
They can't all be rock stars like me, Dan.
Well, and the rock stars like you, of the 100 and some odd people that you baptized,
Yeah.
how many would you guess are attending a Mormon church weekly today?
Less than 0. I would be willing to guess.
Yeah.
Most of them probably don't even know what was happening.
Your other pod partner, maybe you're going to mention this, Frank, spent 2 years in Rome in this endeavor. And
2 years.
And it baptized exactly 0.
You know what?
0 numbers of people.
I would trade with him in a heartbeat.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. He got malaria also 0 times. So
Yeah.
those are good zeros to get. Look, the vast majority of missionary work is not the 2-year Mormon mission. The vast majority of it seems to be short 1 to 2 week stints. You take a bunch of youth from
Kind
your...
of vacation missionary stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And it is problematic.
Yeah.
It's missionary tourism. More
Yeah,
than anything
exactly.
else. Yeah.
And they come looking for a thing to achieve in the time that they're there, and photo ops with natives.
I was about to say,
And,
is a picture with a black child
Right.
an
Yes.
achievement?
It's photo.
Yeah.
It's photo op colonialism.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
100%.
Feel good colonialism.
We're all wearing the same T-shirt. There's a bunch of white people, quote unquote, helping the natives.
Right.
Yeah.
And why would I say quote unquote? That seems disingenuous. They're really trying. Here's the problem. They actually are trying. And I don't want to lose sight of the fact that actually missionary work does a lot of good.
Yeah, and people, even when they fail at whatever, or they're not doing something that it can be successful, can leave with earnest intent. Right?
100%. I don't. This isn't about me questioning the intent of these people. Because most of them probably have a kind heart and they really do want to help. You know, they go to Haiti or they go to Africa or they go to Mexico and they really want to do some good for people who are less lucky than they are.
They're going to say white, but we can go with lucky. That's fine.
Not lucky enough to be white. That's
Yeah.
what I was saying. So the religious private sector spends more than the U.S. government globally on work, for instance, in Africa,
Oh, wow.
in a lot of these places. So it is important to acknowledge that and to say, you know, maybe they're actually doing some good in the world. It's hard to know how much good they're doing because a lot of their work is as much damage as it is good.
Yes,
sometimes
absolutely.
more. Here's the problem. You've got 10 teens and 4 adults that you're going to take to a place. You're going to do a mission, and you're going to go do service. You want to dig a well. So you decide you're going to go to a place. You pick a place. You say, Ecuador. And you say, we're going to dig a well for Ecuador. And most of the time, they don't actually check in with anyone on the ground locally in
Right.
Ecuador. Or if they do, it's somebody running a local mission.
Right.
And they say, hey, we want to go dig a well. Why do you want to dig a well? We don't need a well. Well, we just want to do something that we think
Right.
could
They
be
very
useful.
rarely ask people, what is it you need?
No, they never ask.
What can
that.
we do for you?
Right. And the problem
In
is
2 weeks.
they don't exactly. They
A bunch of unskilled teenagers who are going to get sunburned and tired and
right. 2 weeks of unskilled labor who are all there mostly to take selfies is not going to accomplish much. It can, however, be a useful segment where if you could coordinate these things, you could pipe in another 2 weeks and eventually get something really big done. You could get a project
Sure.
done if you've got someone who's willing to train up every week or
Yeah.
every 2 weeks a new group of people or whatever. Nothing is coordinated like that. That is not how this works.
Right.
It is a hodgepodge of people going out and doing a little bit. This is where the Mormons could really shine. The
Yeah.
Mormons, if they switched from a proselytizing model to a service model, they could do some really intense shit because they actually are the most organized group in the world.
And you're sending out tens of thousands of young men and women, that could literally put their back to the wheel.
Yeah.
And
they're
affect
out,
some
and they're
change.
out there for 2 years.
Two full
Well,
years.
unlike your typical evangelical young missionary going for 2 weeks, these kids speak the language to some degree.
Yeah.
The Mormon kids. And, in 2 years, you can fucking get a lot done.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So yes, it's funny. There was a book by a man named John Donnelly called "A Twist of Faith: An American Christian's Quest to Help Orphans in Africa," which is funny because the guy in question went out there to help orphans and to build an orphanage, and the government of the African country that he went to was like, "We don't need that. Do you want to build a school instead?" And he had to pivot, and he actually did the pivot. He stayed there for years, so he actually made it happen. That was great.
Right.
But it's not always that sort of thing. You know, you've got random ding-dongs in the first world. And here's the problem. I don't know if you guys have noticed this. Cultures aren't the same in this world.
Well, that's what they're going to fix, Dan.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
So you got these random guys in the first world with no humility who know better than these stupid villagers. And, they've made good money in their lives. They've been successful in the U.S. or Canada.
They're fully qualified to be white saviors.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
So they know how things work. They know how to make things work. And, these people are poor. How would they know anything?
Right.
They don't know anything. So obviously the expertise that has gotten me to upper middle management for a smallish local bank will translate into making life better for a bunch of African tribes people. That's just science.
As long as I don't ask them what they need or
Right.
how I can help.
right.
Or if they even fucking want
That's
me in
right.
their
And
village.
you're welcome, Africa.
Yeah, exactly. So they do build schools sometimes, or they'll build, a one-room building that will probably fall down soon.
Yeah.
That people can use as a school if they want to. There's a delightful trend that happens with people on the ground in these countries where, and I this is one thing that I read about, which is a guy who coordinates missions in northern Mexico. And what he needs is people to come and like bond with and help out this orphanage that they have full of boys and girls who are just really desperate for love and attention.
Yeah.
But love and attention doesn't have a tangible thing that you can go back and say you did. So a lot of groups don't want to do that. What they want is something to build or something to dig or something. So this guy says, and I got this wall. And when a group comes in that can't handle what's required to build relationships with Mexican kids, or insists on completing a task that they can accomplish something, I put them to work on the wall. They feel like they're a big help, and it keeps them out of everyone's hair so the ministry isn't compromised.
Do not tell Donald Trump about this.
Right, yeah, exactly. Missionaries to build his wall. That's what he needs.
Now, I don't know if you're going to talk about this woman who's very much in the news right now, who I think is I think she's being held in Uganda. You know the one I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
A young woman who has decided that she is the savior of Ugandan orphans. No medical training of any kind, and she writes in her diaries about giving IVs, and I saved this baby. Well, they think she's responsible for the death of over 100 children.
Holy shit.
But she's got pictures of herself standing among the pictures of dead children with her arms outspread, like she's in a fucking Creed video.
Right.
And, she is this
Creed, the official band of
millennial white privilege, white savior Instagrammer, and hopefully Uganda will throw her in a hole and throw away the key.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's tricky because,
But again,
they need help. Like the help is definitely needed.
But like, so many ill thought through, the road to hell is paved with good intentions.
Right.
Right. Like, yeah, they need help, and yeah, we have resources to offer, but that doesn't mean it shouldn't be planned out and coordinated.
Right. And that's the problem. You always hear about, when disaster strikes, when the hurricane hit Haiti, or when, an earthquake hits, good intentioned people don't want to do something so impersonal as giving money to an organization that's already working.
Right.
So they donate clothes, and then like countless boatloads of clothes go in and just sit in a pile because they don't need fucking clothes.
Well, the distribution networks are all fucked up.
Right,
That's the problem. So
they need food, but don't fucking send food because you're just clogging the
money to the Red Cross.
There are charities that have systems, but then the Red Cross is problematic in its own way. But there's systems. People have developed systems to do this, and so the last thing that a place like Haiti after a fucking earthquake or Southeast Asia after the tsunami needs is more mouths to feed.
Right, yeah.
They don't need a bunch of white kids showing up, right, who've never worked a day in their lives, getting heat stroke, and
singing I Am Africa.
Yeah, exactly, and needing to be fed and housed. Stay the fuck out of the way.
Yeah.
Right, yeah, and give money.
Well,
yes.
and let's, I'm sure we're going to talk about this, but all of this is assuming that the intentions are to spread the gospel to those people.
Right.
Right.
And that is the goal. And so one of the things that ends up happening, like in Haiti, one plane lands supplied with fucking Bibles.
Yeah.
Right.
Takes up space in an airway
Yeah.
to give books
Right.
to people who are hungry.
Yeah.
You fucking
And
turds.
sick and severely injured and displaced, and that's not what they need.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for
Unless
this.
it's cold where the Bibles are being sent to, and then in that case they might have a use.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. And it's so true.
Unless they have a book-shaped wound that only a Bible can staunch the bleeding of.
Right.
There's literally no reason to give them a Bible.
Right.
Yeah. It's so disingenuous and so bullshit.
And cynical.
And cynical. And although you can't accuse the individuals of cynicism.
Well,
you know what I mean? Again,
I can accuse them of not using critical thinking skills
right.
to really see if what they're doing is a good that is benefiting a human life on the ground.
Here's the problem with that, and this is my experience. I'm sure we'll talk about this, but it's why you shouldn't go at missionaries in a dickish way you see on the street, no matter what religion they are. This is the least likely moment in their lives that you're going to convince them that they're wrong.
Oh yeah, you're not going to
right.
get anything through to them.
They're in the shit. They're in the trenches right now. And they see them, they're out walking in their spacesuits in a hostile world.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to convince them right now.
They know they are called by God to be in this place.
And part of the reason that I chose this topic was a very interesting thing. I sent it to you guys.
You did. We read that. Yeah.
Which was a fascinating sort of roundup of it. Basically, somebody had posted online somewhere, why do people get so annoyed with me when I try to share the gospel with them? Don't they see that I'm trying to do it out of love?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And this person said, oh, no. It was designed, this missionary work is designed for you to annoy them. And the reason for that is that your annoyance of them makes them get caustic with you. And you're supposed to feel that. And you're supposed to feel uncomfortable, and you're supposed to feel rejected out in the world, because then when you come back to your flock, when you come back to your people, and they embrace you and they hail you as a hero for your work out
for your
in the
suffering.
world,
Yeah.
you are now more fully entrenched in the tribe. You are now inured into the groupthink.
Right.
It's radicalizing the converted rather than converting the
It serves the in-group, not the out-group.
If they happen to convert somebody, which almost no missionary work does,
bonus,
really, that's great. That also inures you further into the in-group thinking. But to your point, Doug, I think it's a terrible idea to go up and attack a missionary person, or to be like, aha, I have all of these. I have a list of 1,000 reasons why you're wrong.
It's not going to work, and it literally might be counterproductive.
It's literally going to do the opposite, which is it's going to make them think, oh, see, they're of the world. These are the people I was warned about. Everything about that I've learned about is correct.
I'm glad you're talking about this subject, because I had a talk with Doug a while ago where I was saying there's got to be a way we can figure out, just from the Mormon perspective, what the cost of a convert is, how much a mission costs, how much the infrastructure. It's not just what the family of the kid pays. It's the infrastructure of the mission. It's the ward houses, the mission presidency, the apartment costs, transportation, whatever bribes, as Fred Karger once said, that they're paying to the government because missionaries typically don't get visas. Right, to be in a country for 2 years. That's got to be an enormous cost. But if you look at it through that lens, that the point isn't the conversion.
No.
Right.
Because, Mormon, I would assume, what would you guys, just stupid guess, the average missionary, how many converts? 10?
I would guess less. I would guess the average would be
it
less.
depends on where they go, right? If they go to a developing country, they'll get more converts.
But who tend to stay less.
They won't stay,
and
they definitely, even if they stay, aren't a revenue source for the church.
Well, and John DeLynn talked about this on his podcast about this missionary work that he, at one point, it's the quality of the converts. And the quality it's not a racial issue. Quality meaning that they stay and they attend church, they answer callings, they pay tithing.
Right.
So if the metric is quality conversions,
it's tiny.
Very, very few.
Very tiny.
Right. Some people are like, oh, you know what? I like you guys. I'm interested. If I have to get baptized to go to church, I'll do it.
So look, we're guessing
But 3 months later, I'm not going.
Let's guess it's $10,000, $20,000 per convert.
Sure.
Then the point clearly is not about the conversion, right?
Right. Yeah. Those are terrible numbers.
Yeah.
The point is to keep people in.
And to do it in the Mormon perspective again, and the evangelical youth groups,
right?
That age is the age when your mind should be expanding. You should be doing interesting stuff.
You're questioning.
You're questioning. Yes. You're trying shit. You're going to have your first three-way. You're going to meet a black guy.
You should be going to college.
Yeah.
Exploring different people's thoughts.
You're going to read a poem, and it's going to blow your fucking mind.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. But the point is to prevent all that, to create a situation where you are stuck with this fucking stranger 24/7.
Yeah.
And you live this monastic life at that critical age, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's absolutely, and I don't know. The different religions sending out these people, I don't know what their success rates are outside of the Mormon Church, but the Mormon Church is one of the more aggressive ABC missions. So, you know what I mean? They probably have more success in that because that's their emphasis than many other religions.
Yeah, they are on the hard sell.
Yeah, for sure.
It is a door-to-door hard sale job.
Yep.
It's
And-
6 days a week, right?
It's 6.5.
It's
Oh my God.
shocking how many of it's not shocking. It's very, very clear how many Mormons come back and that from their mission and then make good money as actual door-to-door hired salesmen
Right.
for various
Yeah.
door-to-door
Yeah.
companies. One of the things that's interesting, following on something you said, Doug, is that one of the big things that happens is that there's this sort of confirmation bias that occurs, and missionaries frequently see success where there was not success.
Yeah.
So you get a lot of missionaries who had experiences like you, Doug, and maybe not quite the cynical attitude, Douglas, elder, and you and they come back thinking I was a very successful missionary and I helped the Lord. You know what I mean? But
they can also-
I read
Sorry.
an account of a guy who was in Washington D.C. He spent an afternoon at a homeless shelter, and he was like, "Oh, what a great day!" There's a quote: "We handed out tracts and witnessed to dozens of guys, and at least 10 men accepted Christ." Well, maybe, or maybe 10 guys were like,
Whatever I have to say.
"Whatever I have to say to end this awkward
Sure, dude.
conversation."
Or as is often the case with those kind of Christian missions, I said whatever I had to say to get a fucking meal.
Yeah, exactly.
The Salvation Army does that.
Because so many shelters are run by Christians.
Yes.
And you kind of just have to go with whatever it is.
And if
they
you're
say.
starving, fucking do it.
yeah,
you know,
absolutely. Feel free to say whatever you got to say to get a meal.
Yeah, exactly.
But these people who feel successful have not succeeded.
And I think there can be a sense of success in failure.
yeah.
You know, to come back and say, I went out into the wicked world. I was called to Belgium.
Yeah.
Right. And they are so wicked and they're so liberal that I didn't convert a single one, but I fought the fight and I carried the torch.
That's absolutely right. In a lot of
Yeah.
cases, finishing your mission is the accomplishment.
right. And
sticking
getting
through
doors
it.
slammed in your face is the
Yeah.
accomplishment,
Well-
which goes back to the point isn't to convert.
No.
It's radicalization.
Absolutely not.
That's a byproduct if it happens.
if it happens.
It's Rumspringa. Yeah.
It's reverse Rumspringa.
Yeah.
Well, but Rumspringa, most of the kids who go on Rumspringa return to the church. So if you don't know what Rumspringa is, we're talking about in the Anabaptist Amish community particularly. There's a point where teenagers they go from horse and buggy, being a fucking Amish, museum piece, to do whatever you want, kid.
Go out into the world, try drugs, try
drinking.
sex.
Go out among the English and do whatever the fuck you want.
Mm-hmm.
And these kids have no frame of reference for what that world is.
Right.
And
They
no coping skills.
overconsume and they
So they get completely overwhelmed,
Yep.
completely fucked out of their minds,
strung out, hungover, and
And
terrified.
they come running back.
and they come running back.
It's the system set up to fail.
Right.
It's the same logic, though. Is to
Exactly.
radicalize.
Yeah, it's to capture a mind that is not ready for what it's about to experience.
It's like it's exposure therapy, but in the wrong direction.
and it's a brainwashing technique. There's no such
Absolutely.
thing as actual brainwashing, but it is a technique of capturing the brain into a headspace that they control.
Yeah.
And then hopefully holding onto that brain for the rest of their lives, because this was because that's how it's designed.
Right.
I don't know if we have time to talk about this, but I've thought long and hard about what I would do if the Mormon missionaries came to the door. I'm less so with JW missionaries, Jehovah's Witnesses, because they tend to live in the community. They're not professional, sent abroad missionaries generally. But I think, speaking to the humanity of these children who have a shitty job, if you just look at it as a job, it's terrible.
Yes.
Right? You live in a shit apartment, you're eating terrible food if you're eating enough, and they generally aren't. People slam doors in your faces. Nobody wants what you're selling. I want to try this. I want to open the door and say, guys, come on in. Here's what I'm proposing.
Just your robe is kind of hung open.
Like
right?
I do
Yeah.
when I answer the door. My robe's generally quite short, so it leaves nothing to the imagination.
Doesn't
So-
need to be open. It's just,
so say, come in. This can be an hour or 2 hours that are not on your clock.
right.
I don't want what you're selling. I'm not selling anything to you, but there's the TV. Here's my laptop. Put your feet up. You want something cold to drink? That's great. I'll make some food. We don't have to talk about anything. This never happened. You can leave after 2 hours. You can walk out of here and tell somebody that I was interested. I don't give a shit.
Right.
But you can just be a human being for a couple hours outside of this crazy situation. I don't know if they'd go for it.
I don't know that they would.
Remember, there's two of them, and they're there to police each other.
And it's snitch-based.
Yeah.
But I want to offer it.
Right.
Because I think the milk of human kindness is so much more effective than hitting him over the head with your version of the Bible, right?
And also, I have a bathroom all the way upstairs that we can't hear.
Yeah.
So go up and do whatever you got to do up there.
Exactly
if you need
right.
to use the bathroom.
And here's
just clean up after yourself.
right.
use the laptop, clear your internet history after. I don't have to know what you've been doing.
Right.
No man knows my internet history.
That's my new hashtag for Mormon porn consumers, which is enormous. No man knows my search history.
Well, there you go, fellas. I think in the end, I can't declare it more harm than good, but I can certainly say it's a contender.
Yeah.
I think the real knock against it is a loss of potential. That this could be a force for good in the world, and it is failing at least at what it could be.
Right. Yeah. So you know what? There are secular groups that actually organize really good trips that are similar, that go out and help third world countries, help the developing world.
Yeah.
You can join one of them.
Yeah.
And you can do that work, and you don't have to say Jesus one time.
There's Amnesty International, and
there's a great group that's
Borders.
Peace Corps. I don't
Peace
know.
Corps.
You know,
a great group that's emerged in Africa on the tail of this horrible woman that killed all these babies, called No More White Saviors. You can look them up. They're talking about send money to these organizations on the ground that know what people need, know what they're doing.
Right.
Stay home.
Yeah.
Come as a tourist, but don't fuck around with people's lives.
Spend your tourist dollars there.
Yeah.
That's great. That can help out.
Yep. Go see the pyramids, do your thing, go on a safari, but
yeah.
don't assume you know better than the people who live there what the fuck they need.
Right. All right. I think that's good.
We solved it.
Let's move on.